Previously on Building Forceworld.
I think it's a good idea to first determine where things are going to be, starting with Jabba's palace. I know this is very ugly, but just for the idea, I feel like this is a pretty good size for it. For now, by the way, let's paint all of this in that same sandy kind of color. I'm just using some of these buildings, but obviously this will look very, very nice in the end. That, however, is a problem for later. This looks weird. I'm not gonna lie, this will look pretty damn epic in the end. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this brand new episode of Building Forceworld. Today we will continue the Tatooine area, and to be more specific, we're gonna build Jabba's palace. I don't know why specifically I decided to begin with this, but it just seems fun, so honestly, let's not waste any time and get straight into it. To begin, we first need a proper outside of the building, the proper exterior shape, if you will. Using a bunch of these, we'll make the tube, like so. And yes, I would also like to add interior at some point. Right away, I will begin adding some of these details on the sides. There appear to be some of these blocks, and those we can just copy like this as well. And what I did notice is Jabba's palace appears to be slightly more reddish than the buildings around it. Maybe a color like this is a bit more accurate. Is it? I think so, actually. And what I also want to try is adding some of that dirt that is kind of rolling off the side of it. I have no idea if this is gonna work, but it's definitely worth trying. Just using some of these that are ever so slightly darker. Like that. Oh my god, that works! Hell yeah, dude! That looks fine. Then let's work on those roof elements for now. Using a bunch of wedges, I guess, is the best way. Just kind of one by one putting the roof tiles on here. I mean, they're not really roof tiles, but you get what I mean. And actually, let's just make one segment here that we can just copy over, and then the entire thing is instantly done. Not only is that faster, it's also a lot more satisfying. These are supposed to be these two layers there. And here I'm making these very tiny windows, which I want to be super detailed. Even gonna put these kind of bricks on there that I think I see on this image. It's a bit small, it's a bit vague, but I think this is pretty close. Now, look, if I grab this whole thing and I copy that a few times over this... Oh, I can already see this coming. Let's freaking go. See, that is just absolute fire! Yes, and on top of that, I can just put some more of these roofs. Like that. Oh, let me just do this. Let me just copy all of this over. Just all around the entire thing. Up until the last one. There you go. Shouldn't forget about this other layer though. Anyway, then we need the next piece of the roof, the final piece. Let's try something like this. And I mean, to be fair, it's just the same stuff again, same kind of roof. So let me just finish this real quick. At the very top though, there's a different element, kind of like a bump, like a bulb. I do think there is some kind of metal rail like this one, but it's very small and it's pretty hard to see, so I'm just guessing here. There you go. Not that bad. Well, then I suppose that actually is pretty much the biggest part of the exterior. The proportions are slightly different, but I'd still say that is pretty accurate. Then we need to do the two towers on the sides. The tall one out of the two is going to be here, and I think should be about this tall. It's definitely taller than the other one. And the same thing as before. Now, I know that the position of these towers isn't technically accurate. Let's be honest, guys. Nothing is. I just like that we do have all of these separate elements in. They're just not really in their respectful place, but honestly, who cares? I'm already happy I can make them in the first place, so let's continue. Let's go and put all of these details on there. It's not as detailed as the main tower, but still has a decent amount to it. Most notable are definitely these wooden sticks on the side here. And we just need that bit at the top, and we should be good. And this roof actually has quite a bunch of layers of these kind of wedges. But I do think we are slowly getting there. Finishing it off with the dome pieces, and that's pretty much the exact same shape. Not too bad, not too bad. Just another blue stripe and we're done. And there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that. That dead ass looks pretty good, actually. Then finally, there is this smaller one, but it's just the same stuff once again. So I'll be right back with you when it's done. In the meantime, if you still don't have this hoodie yet, what the hell are you waiting for? For literally only 16 Robux, it's completely yours forever. So honestly, I don't see a reason why not to buy it, but that's just me. Moving on. And done. Very nice. Then now we need a way in, because I completely closed it off. I mean, I can just open up this to create sort of a door. However, it would of course be nice to have the door from the movie Let's see. This would be the hallway then. It can't be that long, obviously, but this is just something at least. Should be a little bit of an archway type structure. I mean, that can work. It needs some rocks on the sides, but apart from that, this has potential, actually. The entrance, of course, needs the iconic door. Let's try and put in all of these details here. Some of these teeth kind of thingies, even including these tiny bolts. And then that we're gonna have to paint in a similar color as the entrance, really. Just this brown, rusted kind of steel. And on the side, the kind of thing it is sliding into. Makes sense. Here you go. A very nice grill type element. I like it. And then the exact same thing on the other side. There you go. Yes, this is getting shape. And I'm even putting the holes in the ground where those teeth go. That is just lovely. It really does add something to it, I guess. Inside of this very short corridor, I do want to add some of these arches that we do see in the scene. And to be fair, I don't think there's much more to it than this, because it's a pretty plain corridor, actually. Let's work on the inside later. Now first, some rocks. Oh, not again. Jabba's palace is kind of located in like canyons or a bunch of mountains, rocks, that sort of stuff. So I definitely need to do that here as well. The only challenge is this time around, I actually have to make sure the rocks look kind of similar to those. Basically, in short, I can't have them look too rocky because that's just going to kind of ruin the whole vibe. There has to be some sort of smoothness to them.
2 hours later.
So an issue I'm running into now is it kind of blends in with the building, doesn't it? The rocks are too similar in a way. What if I grab this cleaner concrete texture instead and put that on the buildings like so? Does that look nice? I need to fix all of these elements, of course. But yes, I do actually think this is worth it because otherwise this is gonna look weird, isn't it? Yeah, I do believe this actually might just be a lot better. There you go. That sure is a lot better. An idea that just came to mind, what if we put the Rancor up here? Because I know I'm not gonna build the whole cage thing. I am gonna make a hole in the floor here somewhere that shows what is supposed to be a cave, but it's just gonna be dark and black because file size, yay! Making that entire cave I don't think is necessary, but it would be nice to have a Rancor, and that could be right here. However, not today. That is something for another episode. Then now, the interior, guys. Finally. Oh, and by the way, if I see one comment of someone saying that this door isn't actually possible because it goes up and there's nothing above it, this is a theme park. Nothing is real. It's fine. I'm not gonna build a whole mountain that covers up the entire castle, am I? Palace. I mean. Anyway, the interior. First, let's put some walls in here to kind of separate these into a few different looking rooms. Not actually, of course, but we do have to kind of give the idea that there's a bunch of rooms. Once again, we need a bunch of these arches and some more on the sides. And in terms of the purpose of this building, I'd say we can just make this like a bar where you can get some drinks or something. This right here is going to be the Rancor pit, so let's dig a hole. Well, that is a hole indeed. See, and just like I explained, it's just gonna be black. You don't see anything. That's fine. As for the actual trapdoor thing, I feel like these pieces are just made for it. There's just no way we're not gonna use these. This sure as hell is beginning to look like Jabba's throne room. Once again, it's not identical. It doesn't have the same layout, but it's about the idea. The vibe, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like my eye is red. Why is my eye red? I'll just ignore that, I guess. I do think it's time we begin painting some of this, because obviously this is not it. First off, we need this edge right here, because that has a bunch of symbols on it. I'm not gonna remake these symbols one-to-one or make them using image panels, but this right here actually seems fine. It's a bit too compact, maybe. Here you go, that is a bit better. You know what, that actually looks pretty cool. As for painting, this is basically just one big rock, on which we do have a bunch of these ring elements for some reason. But I think I can get away with that using something like this. Maybe. Kind of does the trick. There's also some metal elements on the wall here. To be fair, many images show different versions of this room, and from the actual movie, it's kind of hard to make out what's happening. So you're gonna have to take this entire room with a grain of salt, or a pinch of salt. One is English, the other is American, and since I am neither, a bump of salt. There is this tiny little fence element for some reason, which I guess Jabba just kind of leans on, so let's build that as well. You can say what you want about all this unnecessary detail, but at least it's not trees. That's good. And this is where there is some kind of pot with food that he eats. I don't even know why, but let's just build it. There you go. We'll just put a bowl on top of that, and then inside we'll just put some green goo. Here you go. Perfect. If that doesn't look delicious, I don't know what does. Then in the back, there's this really strange looking table, which appears to be some kind of barbecue. Honestly, I didn't come up with this. There's a bunch of really interesting details on this, but I'm gonna try to make it as good as I can. And whoop, to the other side. That is already... That looks like it. That whole thing also appears to be some kind of dark brownish metal color. The lighting here doesn't really show much of the metal in this texture, but I guess it's there. To finish that off, we need the fire. Now, I know this is a bit much, so let's put that emitter on the lowest amount possible. Like, see? Much better. And the default color of fire is just absolutely horrendous. Something like this is much more realistic. There you go. Okay, so there's that. For the ceiling, let's not overthink it. Let's just do something simple. A nice wooden structure to hold everything in place. There you go. I can't really find any decent photos of the ceilings anyway, so it's fine. Then this right here, like I said earlier, is going to be a bar because that's nice. Why else would this entire thing be here? Anyway, let's put some of the same shapes and architectural structures in here. Architectural structures. Wowie wow, I just make them up as I go. And of course, guys, I'm gonna steal stuff from the Outlander bar because why put effort into something you've already done a trazillion times? Here you go, just a few glasses on the table. And now I'm gonna have to build just all of the generic bar stuff, so I'll be right back with you. Well, I put a thing or two down, as you can see here. It's very simple, but it does look quite nice and it does the job. On the other side here, there's a bunch of tables and stools, pretty basic. And back here, I put some more junk. It's really, that's what it is, junk. Then now for some lighting, I want to make this look a bit nicer. Let's use these spotlights, maybe a bit more orangey, like so. Let's kind of experiment with a few different colors. As you can see, this creates kind of a nice vibe. Besides, if I remember correctly, Jabba's Palace is always kind of a party, isn't it? Here you go, that's actually... really nice. As for this fire, I don't want it to be on the whole time. Let's put it on toggle. And let's say the off time is going to be 20 seconds and the on time is going to be 6. So every now and then it just kind of goes on for fun. Then maybe in this corridor, something very subtle like this might actually help. There you go. Okay, well, this is turning out pretty nice, isn't it? We do need some light here. Maybe just a very simple spotlight in the center here. Just some warm light. Here you go. Simple as that. The only thing left is this wall's kind of boring and you do see it from the inside. So what should we put there? I mean, these are kind of cool. Doesn't fill up the entire wall, but at least it's something. Actually, I think that's fine. Small detail anyway, so. This is looking pretty cool. I actually like a lot how this turned out. I know what you're thinking. Where's Jabba? Am I gonna make Jabba? The thing is, you just know it's gonna look like absolute trash, but I'll try. Not today, though. This is more than enough progress for one day. Actually, looking at these rocks now, I'm not so sure anymore. This looks a bit weird. I might change that. Anyway, then I guess that is it for today. If you enjoyed this video, make very sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell not to miss a single future video. Then I hope I'll see you in the next episode of Building Forceworld.